Hey, this is Cameron Delo, and this is Music Theory Mondays. Today we will be covering how to build major chords, minor chords, augmented chords, diminished, major 7, and 7 chords. And I'll demonstrate this with the whiteboard as well as on guitar. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, so every one of those chords I had mentioned previously, the minor, the diminished, the augmented, the major 7, and the 7 chord will all contain a major triad, which it will be your first, third, and fifth note of a major scale. So every one of those chords contain this. So we're going to cover right now how to build a major triad and how it works in a typical major chord when you're looking at it as a guitar player. So, like I said, it's the first, third, and fifth note of a major scale. It can be any major scale. It all depends on what you're trying to build. Right here, we have G major scale, okay, which is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp notes. Now, like I said, to build a major triad, you're going to need the first, third, and fifth of that to make a G major chord or a G major triad, 3-note chord. So you're going to need G, which is your first, so I have written down right here, B, which is your third, and D, which is your fifth of that major to make that G major chord, okay, or G major triad. See, it's the same thing, you know, as a guitar player. Most all of us know a G major chord. It's everywhere. But if we're spelling it out to kind of see how this is actually working, G, B, D, you have your major triad right there. But to play the full chord, G, B, G, some of the notes are doubled up. And that's okay. It's still a major chord. Nice and happy sounding. Right here, I'm actually doubling up the D note rather than the B. It all depends on the way you play it. So you can have G, B, D right here. There's a G triad. But typically for this fingering, we're going to lay the first finger flat across first and second string third frets. It's like your F shape if you're more familiar with that on third fret. So yes, the first, third, and fifth note of any major scale will be how you build that particular chord. So if we did let's give one more example. C major. So your C is, the notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. So we got to find the first, third, and fifth to build a C major chord or C major triad. C, E, and G, okay? First, third, and fifth note. So if I'm going to play a traditional, we'll call it cowboy chord, traditional C major chord, we have C, E, G, C, E. I actually hit that note. Wow. Anyways, yes. So we have first, third, fifth, doubled up root, which is first, and third. So there you have it. To build a major chord or a major triad, it's the first, third, and fifth note of a major scale, whatever particular major scale you're looking for, G, D, A, you name it, it's the first, third, and fifth note of that. And to play a chord, play a version of this, you can double up certain notes. So now we're going to talk about minor chords or minor triads. To build this, you need the previous knowledge of what I just talked about, the major chords or the major triads, and you need just a quick formula. So in order to make a G major, since we're talking in G major, in order to make that a minor chord, we know the notes are G, B, and D. So you have first, third, and fifth, G, B, D. You would flat the third notes. Only the third note, okay? You don't do anything else to the first or fifth note to make this a minor chord or minor triad. Now, I can visually show you what I mean by this. So if we have G, B, D. Use that kind of F shape. Okay, so we have G, B, D, and I said G was the third, and you got to flat that. So that just means lower it 1 fret. Gets at that sad sound. G, B flat, D. It's not a very practical chord in an open position. I could show you in various bar chords, but so we have here G, D, G, B, G, D, G. Almost said it wrong. G, D, G, B, D, G. There we go. So again, you're going to only lower that third note to B. G, D, G, B, B flats. Okay. You could do it here too. G, D, G, B. Remember, you want to make it a B flat. So you go, so you have so there you have it. The first, third, and fifth notes, the major triad, to make it minor, you flat the third. We could do one more. So let's say we're in C major again. So you know, as I said before, 3 notes of C major triad is C, E, and G. Well, to make that minor now, you would just lower the third, flat it. So it would be C, E flat, G. C, E flat, G. I could show you right here. So here's a C, nice C major chord. With that F shape. In case you didn't know, it's a movable shape. Root's our first note. It's on 10th fret of 4th string. Okay? Well, we have C, E, G, C. So your E needs to be lowered. So right here is your E. Just bring it down 1 fret. So now it looks like this. C minor. Okay? C, E flat, G. You do it here, you have a C major chord. C, G, C, E, G, C. Okay? Well, we got to flat that third, so we got to find the third again. C, G, C, E. Oh, lower this. Just lift up that finger. You're barring across. Got that sad minor sound. Go back up here. C, G, C, E. Okay. So we got to find that E again. C, G, C, E. Lower it 1. You got E flat. E flat. Okay. So it's got that minor sound. So formula for minor is take the major triad and flat the third. Major triad is first, third, and fifth. Minor triad is first, flat 3, and fifth. All right, augmented chords are augmented triads. The formula, like I said, and I'll say this over and over again like a broken record, is built from the formula from the major chord or the major triad. The first, third, and fifth note of a major scale, whichever one you're looking at. And in this case, unlike the minor, where the minor just flatted the third, this is just first, third, sharp 5. You raise the 5, which is sharp. So it's first, third, and sharp 5. Okay? So if you looked at it, G, B, D sharp. You don't do anything to the third, okay? Just G, B, D sharp, augmented, sharp the 5, okay? So that being said, I'll show you just like I've been doing before. So like I said, same idea of being built from the major triad. So we'll find, since we're doing G, we'll find right here. sure my amp is on. There we go. All right, so we have a G, B, D, G, just like what we've been doing with that F shape. Now we got to sharp the 5. So G, B, D sharp. So you just raise that note 1. Here's your D, 3rd fret, 2nd string, and that'll be 4th fret. Kind of a tense sounding chord. What's going to happen next? So you're sharping the 5, raising the 5th. G, B, D sharp. Show you another way to play it. G, B, D. D would be 3rd string, 7th fret. Well, in this case, you're going to raise it. So it'll be 3rd string, 8th fret. And then a G, 8th fret, 2nd string. So you can play it like this. Okay. And another way to play the same one. G, D, G, B. Your G bar chord. You could, not a very practical way of doing this, but you could raise the 5th right here, put your pinky right on, instead of it being 12th fret D on 4th string, it's 13th fret D sharp on the 4th string. What was I thinking? So it would look like this. Like I said, not very practical. I wouldn't typically play this, just a demonstration. Okay. Now, as I've been showing, you could do this with other keys. We'll keep doing it with C. So why stop? So you're 3 notes of a C chord, or C major triad, C, E, and G. So that means you would sharp the 5th and the C major chord, and that would be C, E, G sharp. C, E, G sharp. Okay? So we could use, typically these same shapes I just did would work, but it's a good demonstration. So if we're going to go here, the F shape for C, C, E, G, C. Okay? Well, you gotta sharp the 5th or raise the 5th. So it'd be C, E, G sharp. Tense chord again. What will happen next in Cameron Dilo music? No one knows. Only Cameron does. All right. So now we'll show the bar chord shape. C, G, C, E, and you gotta find a G sharp. So you gotta put the other 2 down, like it's not very practical. Okay, so to make an augmented chord, you sharp the 5th. So G, G, B, D sharp. Okay, and same thing with C, C, E, G sharp. You're sharpening the 5th of that major triad. All right, so we've talked about major, we've talked about minor, we've talked about augmented. Now we're going to talk about diminished. Diminished is built again, just like all of them. Like I said, I just keep repeating it because I want to drive the point home. That it's all built from the major triad, the 1st, 3rd, and 5th note of a major scale. 1st, 3rd, and 5th note of a major scale. As I said, in G major, that's G, B, D. Okay? Well, in order to make this diminished, the new rule is you start with your G, and to make it diminished, you flat the 3rd and you flat the 5th. 3rd and 5th. You flat the 3rd and 5th. Okay? Flat 3rd, flat 5th. That would make it diminished. I will demonstrate it again. So we have G, B, D. That's your regular old G major chord. Your F shape, your G on the top. Hey, what up, G? Well, that's what's up, G. Anyways, so you gotta flat the 3rd. B flat, you went from B, 4th fret, 3rd string. Now you gotta go to 3rd fret, 3rd string. Now you got to flat the fifth, which is 3rd fret D on the 2nd string. Then you got to flat D flat. So you have G, B flat, D. This is not the kind of chord you're going to hear in a regular old pop song. I mean, you can, but it's much too ugly for the masses' ears, typically. I mean, it's not, yeah. Anyways, so you flat the 3rd and the 5th. I'll show you another shape. So let's do our major bar chord, 10th fret, 5th string roots on for G major. Now we go G, D, G, B flat. Well, we got to flat, because the order of this now, we got to flat the 5th, which is the D, so we got to do D flats, which are going from 12th fret on 4th string to 11th fret 4th string, 11th fret 4th string, 11th fret 4th string. So you went from 12th fret 4th string D to D flat on 11th fret. Gotta drive that home. Fret 4th string. Okay, so now you have G. You got a G right here, and then you got a B. So you got to lower the B as well. That's your 3rd. So you got to get a B flat. So instead of 12th fret 2nd string, you want 11th fret 2nd string. So that's your B flat. So you play it like this. Get a good angle so you can see me. Anyways, yes. So I'll do one more G. And then I'll show you in C, as I've been showing. So you got G. Let's go with G major chords. So let's say that first. G, D, G, B. Well, we got to flat the 3rd and the 5th. So we got G. We're going to change our D on 5th string to a D flat, which is 4th fret 5th string. Keep that G since that's your root. And actually, I'm in the right position for this now. So you got a B, you got to make a B flat. So 3rd fret of 3rd string rather than 4th fret B. 3rd string, it's B flat, 3rd fret, 3rd string. So it would be like this. I should put a song where there are all forms of the diminished triads. It's yeah, I'm not trying to diminish it or anything. Ha ha ha. Oh, it was. I should put a laugh track on this one. That would be kind of cool. But if I do, maybe I'll edit this part out so I don't talk about the laugh track before I talk about it, which will cause the world to explode because it'll be breaking that 4th wall. And anyways, so C. Okay, so we will go with our C major triad, 10th fret, it's the F shape, 10th fret, 4th string, you got C, E, G, you got to flat the 3rd and the 5th, so instead of E on 9th fret, 3rd string, you're going to have E flat, 8th fret, 3rd string, and instead of 8th fret 2nd string, you're going to have G flat on 7th fret of the 2nd string. Did I say that right? If I didn't say it right, comment below and tear me a new one. So it's C, E flat, G flat. Okay. Just like this one back here. Like I said, it's not the most common, lovely chord. So the chord spelling for C, E flat, G flat, that's diminished triad. So now we will do another C. Let's do C, let's do that. 4, 5, 3rd fret, 5th string, root, C major chord. So there you have it. The G diminished chord, or the diminished chord in general, is you flat the third and you flat the fifth. Doesn't matter what the root is. Again, it's the same rule as any of these. You're starting with a major triad, and depending on the key, it can be C, G, A, any of those. You just flat the third and the fifth. In this case, it's G, B flat, D flat, rather than G, B, D. All right, now we're breaking away from those 3-note chords, those triads, and we're introducing you to perhaps one of the most beautiful chords in the world, the major 7. The major 7 will contain the major triad, first, third, and fifth of a major scale, but it will also contain the 7th note of that particular major scale. So in this case, we have G, B, D is your major chord or major triad. We put on the very top, we put an F sharp, or the very end of it, I should say, in the spelling. We have F sharp, because that's the 7th note. 1, 3, 5, 7. That's how you spell out your major 7. First, third, fifth, and the 7th note of the scale. Now, another way to look at this, I kind of put this, and it's kind of hard to read. I'm still practicing my whiteboard writing. But so it's a half step lower than root, meaning that your root being your first note of that particular chord. Say right here, we have a G. Half step would be just going back 1 fret. So it's just 1 fret away from that first note. Okay, so we have G. Well, here's an F sharp. Or we have a C. Here's a B. You could use this for any key. Oh, you have an A. Oh, the note before it's a G sharp. So now we know a G sharp is the major 7 of an A major 7 chord, so on. But that's not the chord we're talking about. We're talking about a G major 7, okay? So we have a G, B, D, and F sharp. We could go with our F shape that we've been using. Which is G, B, D. G, B, D, G. I can hit that note apparently. Okay, well now we gotta add in the 7th note. Well, like I said, it's a half step lower than root, so instead of 3rd fret 1st string, now we're gonna have 2nd fret 1st string. So get kind of into a big jazz chord, which is beautiful. Like I said, very beautiful chord. So you have G, B, D, F sharp. You have all the notes you need, okay? Now, let's go to that form 5 major triad. So we have G, D, G, B. And I forgot to say, and you might already gather because we've done this a bunch of times now in this video. This is form 5, G, 5th string, root on the 10th fret. Okay. So we gotta find a place to put that F sharp. We have G, D, G, B. Well, you already have a G. So why don't we change that right here? Instead of G here, 12th fret 3rd string, we'll have 11th fret 3rd string. So we have this. Okay. So now let's say we're talking in terms of C, because like I said, all these can be changed around, everything. So it will be a half step lower than a C, or the 7th note of the C major scale. So if we went through all the notes of the C major scale, we got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So it's a B, okay? Because, you know, it's 8 notes of the scale, and so it repeats at 8, so it's a B, okay? So we have, we can use that same shape. F shape, 10th fret, 4th string, C, E, G, C, lower a half step, so you got a B right here. So it's an 8th fret C on 1st string. It is 7th fret B on 1st string. Okay. C, E, G, B. I can barely hit that note. It sounds awful, I know. Anyways, okay, so we got a C major 7. Now, we can go right here. Form 5, 5th string, 3rd fret. C is your roots. C, G, C, E. And we can lower that C on 3rd string, 5th fret. Lower that to B, 3rd string, 4th fret. So C, G, B, E. Okay, so in order to make a major 7 chord, you need the major triad, 1st, 3rd, and 5th, and the 7th note of the major scale, or thought of as a half step lower than the root, the 1 of that scale. All right, we've talked about a lot of chords today, but last, but definitely not least, we have the dominant 7 chord. Very prominent in pretty much all styles of music. And the 7 chord is going to be spelled like all the other chords. It's going to contain the major triad, the 1st, 3rd, and 5th note of a major scale. But like the major 7 chord, it also contains 1 extra note. So it's no longer a triad, it's a full-blown chord. It's officially graduated and it's an adult chord now. So in like how the major 7 was just a half step lower than root, which is, you know, like in G, that would be just adding the 7th note. So G would be F sharp for major 7. Well, in this case, to make it a dominant 7 or a 7 chord, we actually are going to lower it a full step. So two frets lower than root. So it's an F note rather than an F sharp. Say that again. So to make it a dominant 7, you lower it 2 frets lower than the root. So now it's an F. That works anywhere. C, we're on C. 2 frets lower than C is a B flat. So there's your 7 for a dominant 7 chord. It's typically only written in most books and everything. It's written just as, you know, a 7 next to it. Okay, nothing fancy, but it's a dominant 7 chord. Okay, so like I said, it's the 1st, 3rd, 5th. And a flat 7, okay? So instead of in G major, instead of just adding the 7, which would be a major 7, you add a flat 7, which if you flat F sharp, turns it into an F, okay? So if we were to play that, you know, we could go, let's go over here, yeah. Okay, so G, we have a G. Or sorry, what am I thinking? What in the, oh, sorry. G, D, G, B. Yeah, I'll play it that way. G, D, G, B. G, D, G, B. Well, to make this much more comfortable, much more comfortable, we're going to take this G and lower it 2 frets, which would be a whole step lower. There's an F right here. Instead of 8th fret, 2nd string G, you have 6th fret, 2nd string F, okay? So you still have G, D, B on first string, but now you have the F on second string, 6th fret. So like I said, it's lowering it 2 frets or a whole step lower than the root. So you notice that the F shape wouldn't work. That should actually be the cover of this this video. I think that's what I'm going to do. Anyways, I would not play that what I just played. That was just a demonstration. You know how it would make it a dominant 7. But anyways, we could also do a form 5, G major, 10th frets. You'd have G, D, G, B. You have a G right here. You have a G right here. So I take this and lower it a whole step, or 2 frets. You got that F right here. Instead of 12th fret, 3rd string G, you have 10th fret, 3rd string F. Just snap my middle finger off so I'm not making this video inappropriate. And it's out of the way. So yeah. So you have a G7 right there. And you could also go your regular old form 6, 3rd fret G major bar chord. So you could go G, D, G, B. Well, we gotta take that G right here, your 5th fret G on 4th string. You're gonna lower that 2 frets or a whole step lower than root. There's your F. So now, instead of 5th fret G, 4th string, you have 3rd fret F, 4th string. Okay, so now let's look at it as C. Okay, so now you have, so we'll go here. Like I said, the F shape doesn't necessarily work here. So instead of breaking my hand again to demonstrate that, I'll show you like this. So typically, you see G, C, E. You have C right here, so you're going to lower it a whole step lower than roots, or 2 frets lower than roots. And there's a B flat, okay? So B flat. So in the key of C, it's C, E, G, B flats, okay? Or 1st, 3rd, 5th, flat 7, okay? So C, G, B flats, E. Okay? We can go to the 3rd fret, form 5, C. And we got C, G, C, E. Well, we gotta get that. We gotta take that C, 5th fret, 3rd string, lower it 2 frets, and you have a B flat. 5th fret, 3rd string C to 3rd fret, 3rd string B flat. So you have C, G, B flat, E, covering all your bases. Now you could go one last thing, one very last chord. Your form 6 C major on 8th fret, 6th string is your root. So you have C, G, C, E, G. Your C right here on 10th fret, 4th string. You would just lower that 2 frets or a whole step lower than root, and you got your B flat right here. So instead of a 10th fret, 4th string C, you have 8th fret, 4th string B flat. So to spell out your dominant 7 chords, or your 7 chords, it is 1st, 3rd, 5th, and flat 7. Okay, again, 1st, 3rd, 5th, and flat 7, as demonstrated here. G, B, D, and rather than the regular old F sharp, we flat it, and that makes it an F. Okay, so as I stated at the beginning of the video, I will be doing a future video where I cover different kind of chords, like a minor 7 flat 5, a suspended, 9ths, 11ths, 13ths, things like that. So yeah, look forward for that. I want you to look forward to that into the future, and maybe next week. Maybe I will bring it to you next week. Who knows? But yes, look for a new music theory topic every Monday, and I will be posting it, I believe, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific time on Mondays. Every Monday, new music theory topic. And make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that little bell because it tells you when I'm making a new video or when I have a new video. And like I said, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, you name it. It's great for the algorithm and will help me kick butt in my takeover of the music world. All right. I will see you next time. There's been a lot of talking in this video, so before I start falling all over my words, again, I will see you next time.